Hi guys, welcome to Life of Tri. So in this series of videos we're looking at the journey that I'm on, where once upon a time I had done an Ironman, I had done various other events, but injury, children, COVID has put me in a position where I have not trained for quite a while, 18 months, possibly a bit longer. There has been some training, but it's been off and on. This is the second video in the series. I'll link the first video down in the description. Please watch that at some point as well, which will give you more of an idea of what I'm trying to achieve. So this is the second video. As you will know, I am doing the couch to 5k, and for someone like me who has done various running races and triathlon races before, it was a bit of pill to swallow, because I had to swallow some pride and say to myself I was not where I was once upon a time with my fitness and my ability. So I've done my first run, I have now done my second run, but something happened in between which I hadn't anticipated, and that was DOMS. So anyone who doesn't know what that is, delayed onset of muscle soreness, and ultimately whenever you do exercise and you push your body, chances are the muscles will break down and then they have to repair, and that's what the aching is that you get the day after. For myself, I've always been the sort of person who aches not necessarily the day after, but the day after that. And it probably depends what time of day you train as well, but I generally tend to be someone who trains afternoon, evenings. You can understand why it's that sort of not the next day, it's the day after. But I didn't expect it. And again, it's that pig-headed sort of triathlete, athlete mindset that I had, that, oh, I'm this person who's done all these events before, but my body isn't where that once was. And I didn't expect to have DOMS after running for 20 minutes. And it's not even that. If you look at the plan for the couch to 5k, and I'll link it below as well, the one that I'm using, because there's slight variations. You know, I'm running for a minute to a minute and a half, and then walking for a minute to a minute and a half, depending on where you are within the plan. It's on the face of it, it's not difficult. But when your body's not used to it for as long as I haven't trained for, if that makes any sense, you know, of course I'm going to ache the next day. And once upon a time, I would have done a 5k as a warm-up, or I would have run a 5k the day after doing a race or a hard training session. I would have done it as a cool down. And that's the point. It's all relative to where you are, and never take away from someone an achievement that they are proud of. And whether that is doing a mile, whether that is doing a 5k, a 10k, whether you've done a 20-mile bike or 10-mile bike for the first time, it's all relative to where you are. So I get really annoyed when people sort of look down on someone just because they are a marathon runner or a half marathon runner, and the person that they're speaking to is doing, you know, trying to achieve a couch to 5k, building up to something like a park run or what have you, but they look down at them because, you know, that's, you know, I do that in my sleep. And ultimately that's what I've done this week in my mind. I've been the big I am, I used to do this, I used to do that, and then get shocked when I had DOMS a couple of days later. You know, again, bit of a learning curve for me. Got to reset some of those buttons, got to, you know, go back to basics. I said it in the first video, I'm trying to go back to basics. I'm trying to build back up. I'm doing this for my running because that's the load bearing activity that's flaring up my injuries, and I'll get to injuries in a moment. The cycling and the swimming, I'll start back up soon, but I wanted to get this couch to 5k started and just document my feelings on it. Talking now also about, because of DOMS, when I'm going to do my different exercises, or my different sessions, sorry. I've put myself down to do Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, because it's 3 sessions a week. And it's important that you are put in some time in between for your body to rest and recover. And on the channel, we talk about rest and recovery quite a lot, especially as within triathlon, I think it's one of the additional disciplines on top of swim, bike and run that you have to get right. So what I'm trying to get at is make sure you are giving yourself enough time to recover between sessions. Yes, DOMS can kick in, and I woke up this morning because I am 2 days later from my last run. I ached, but I tell you what, as soon as I done my run and as soon as I did my cool down, I felt so much better. My back was a lot looser. I just felt 10 times better. And I said it in the first video, I got a desk job. It's probably the worst thing in my life that's contributing to all my injuries and niggles. So in order to have the run and then have the stretching afterwards, brilliant. And that's not what I did on the first run. I ran and then I sat straight down, I had a bit of food, and then wondered why I was stiff and sore afterwards. Of course I was going to be. Again, my body's not used to this. So a bit of advice to anyone who's doing this: when you are doing your sessions, you're starting, and within Couch to 5K, you have quite a brisk walk to start. You do your exercise, or you do your intervals. You then have a cool down again, a bit of a brisk walk. But nothing in the plan says about having a bit of a cool down as regards to a stretch and just going through some sort of range of motion exercises. So just factor that in. A little routine at the end. It really needs to take up to 5 minutes just to stretch out is important. So then moving on to injuries, and one of the things that have stopped me training previously, it has been niggles, and I will admit my niggles have flared up a little bit, and I don't know what that is. I don't know whether I had a bad day in the office and I was sat and hunched over and that's flared it up, and then on top of that I had a run, or whether it's just the run on Monday that did it. I'm not entirely sure. However, like I said, I've done the second run today. I had a stretch after it. I feel 10 times better. So hopefully that'll continue, and some of these runs and some of these sort of exercises that I'm doing on top of, will sort out the niggles as well. I know what a lot of my niggles are, and that's sort of my core needs to strengthen, and then all the muscles around that are involved with the mechanics of running need to strengthen. People often talk about being stiff and tight. Well, normally, and any good physio will tell you this, you're not tight. You're just not using the full range of movement, and that's because of a number of different things, but strength of your sort of muscles is definitely part of that. Anyway, guys, day 2 or session 2 done. I am again still swallowing that bitter pill that I'm not the athlete I once was, but hopefully I'll get there soon enough. If you are doing a Couch to 5K, or hopefully I may have inspired you to do that and get back training, or take up a run or a triathlon in the future, let us know in the comments. We love hearing from the community. If there's something you want us to cover in the future, we'd love to do that as well. Anyway, get in touch. Cheers, guys. Thanks.